That's my best friend. That's my best friend.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Damo Flips. Just made a video. My ADHD is fucking bananas today, so I'm gonna try to do this and stay on point. Got my girl with me. If you hear her say focus, that's because I'm off track. So anyway, let's go. She's gonna be my Adderall, just without all the chemical abuse. So anyway, how not to get fucked, all right? Number one, if you're watching YouTubers like Sam Crack, Auto Auction Rebuilds, they're really good at buying cars from Copart and auctions like that. And I'll elaborate more about it. Sam Crack really isn't a car dealer, so the cars that he buys are very limited. So the less cars you buy, the less likely you are to fuck up. And you have seen him fuck up in the past, you know, that Range Rover. But you see him get really lucky in his last video, the Jaguar. All right, let's cut him out. And if you want to know more about that, watch the other video, Auto Auction Rebuilds. I elaborate a lot more on what he's doing in the other video that'll be up as well. But this video, I'm trying to keep short and sweet and try to stay focused, okay? So, with that being said, car dealers, for the most part, we're in this game to make money. Actually, for every part, we're in this game to make money, all right? If I go to an auction, to Manheim, I buy a car, and it's got a bad transmission. I hate to bust your bubble, but let me do it. I'm taking that car back to the auction and running it through, and I'm not going to announce it's got a bad transmission. It is not my intention, nor is it most car dealers' intentions, to fuck over normal people. That's why we're selling them to other dealers. We're not trying to fuck over other dealers. We're just trying not to lose money. Our hope is that someone else will buy that car and will break even or make a little bit of money on it, okay? So understand, when you're buying cars at a dealer-only auction, you're buying it from just what I said, individuals that are there to make money. Most cases when you're making money, you're taking risks. Calculated risks, but there's still risks. We're gonna get back to that. So, if you're buying cars, watching these guys' videos, thinking, hey, I could do the same thing that they're doing from Copart and IAI, and then you end up getting screwed over, understand something. It's part of the game. As a car dealer, we signed up for this. As an individual trying to do whatever you're doing, it is what it is. I apologize to you. Trying to stay focused. How to limit your exposure of getting fucked over at a dealer-only auction. I'm not talking about salvage auctions now, and I'm not talking about ACV, because ACV greenlights the majority of their cars. So feel free to buy whatever you want from ACV because it's greenlight, and you have that protection of greenlight behind you, unless you're buying something that's been announced. Understand announcements, all right? So let's just talk about like Manheim Auto Auction.
Okay.
When you're going to Manheim Auto Auction, understand that you want to buy cars. All right, top 3 ways not to get screwed over. Here they are. Don't buy cars from independents. Okay? Do not buy a car from an independent dealer, because they probably got the car and got screwed, so they're bringing it back to the auction to try to save some money. All right? So understand that. If you're buying from independents, chances are they're doing some underhanded shit to sell that car. Now, I know my independents are out there leaving, death threats in the comments or emailing me some crazy shit. Guys, just be real. It is what it is. That's number one. If you find yourself in a situation that you have to buy from an independent, do your homework on the independent. If you're buying the car from a dealer and it's independent, look at their website. Look at their inventory. If they're selling higher end cars, and you find them with like a, I'm sorry, the table keeps shaking, I apologize. And you find them with a Honda Accord, for instance, and there's nothing wrong with Honda Accords. What I'm saying is you have a dealer who sells high-end vehicles, let's just say over $30,000, and then they're selling this Accord through the auction. It doesn't match their inventory, right? So you could see why they are just dumping that car. They got it probably on trade, and it doesn't fit what they have going on, and they're just dumping it off. Fine. Number 2, doing the same thing. If you look and you see that that car matches their inventory, run. Get the fuck away. Something's wrong with it. It might not be major, but it might be major. Just get away from the car unless you're willing to take that risk, all right? Because if they're selling a 2010 Honda Accord at the auction and they have 2010 Honda Accords at their dealership, ask yourself, why is this not part of their inventory? It could be as simple as a bad Carfax or as major as a slipping transmission, bad motor. Do your homework, inspect the car the best you can, and do what you feel. But if you want to limit your exposure to getting screwed over, let's go with screwed over, don't buy at all from independents. Try to buy, if you're not going to buy from independents, buy from franchise dealers, right? Try to buy from franchise dealers. Buy from Nissan, Toyota, GMC, whatever. You guys know what franchise dealers are. Here's a little thing for you, a little tip. Franchise dealer sales guys, salespeople that I know, they only pay 20% of MMR on trade-ins. I don't care what they tell the buyer they're giving them for the car. That number is already worked into the price. That means that all the wiggle room that was on the car is no longer there. That means that they had to pay extra for other packages because the franchise dealerships are going to make money regardless. They're going to get money coming and going. It's just the name of the game. So they're only giving 20% MMR trade-in value for that vehicle, right? Then when they go to the auction, they have the best run numbers. Their cars are going to go first. People want to buy from franchise dealers, right? So again, you're going to pay a little bit more for the car, but they're not going to send their mechanic out back to try to hide something, to hide a motor knock by pulling out an O2 sensor so this way, or creating an intentional manifold leak so this way you don't hear a motor knock. Not that you guys should be doing any of those things, and not that I ever have. I've just heard stories. So those dealers, the franchise dealers, they don't give a shit. They're all getting picked up on whatever night they're getting picked up on, going on a trailer, going to the auction, and they know they're already going to get over 20%. They just know it. They're going to get over MMR because dealers want to buy those cars because they haven't been tampered with. All right? Now, that was number 2. Number 1, and this is the craziest one, and it's the easiest one, okay? I'm sorry, it's the hardest one. It's the easiest rule to follow, but it's the hardest one to find. Buy your used vehicle from the manufacturer. Of course, at the auction. But if I'm going to buy a Volkswagen, right? I'm going to buy a Volkswagen. I'm going to buy the Volkswagen from Volkswagen. I'm going to buy a Nissan. I'm going to buy it from Nissan. Now, I used to tell this as a sales pitch back in the day. I'll get to the sales pitch in a minute. Here's the train of thought behind this. If the person traded in, let's just say they have you're looking at it's 2020, right? You're looking at a 2015 Nissan Altima at the auction, selling from XYZ Nissan of whateverville, all right? So the train of thought behind this is the owner of that vehicle, that 2015 Nissan Altima, probably financed it, 5-year loan. They loved that car so much that it was time for a new car for them. They drove that car back to Nissan and got into another Nissan. It's like they love the brand. The brand has showed them that they're reliable and trustworthy. So they continue to stick with the brand. Let's just say, and guys, bear with me here for a second because I'm going to say some shit that is probably going to blow your socks off. If Nissan, they bought it with a bad transmission, I know, Nissans with bad transmissions, right? Fucking crazy. And they weren't happy with the car, they probably wouldn't bring that car back to Nissan to buy another Nissan. They're probably going to drive it to Honda or wherever, Toyota, and buy one of those. So if you see Nissan selling a Nissan, the chances are that that person who owned it loved that car so much they bought another one. That's what we're talking about here. If you could limit your buys to just in that little bracket, the likelihood of you getting screwed over is slim to none. Okay? So if I have an ADHD moment, my girl just walked off, so I'm doing pretty good. We're almost done with the video. All right? So I'm sorry. So that was it right there. I just fucked it up. I fucked it up. Anyway, and I used to tell people just that. When they used to come to buy cars from me, I would be like, yeah, I only buy my cars from franchise dealers, and more importantly than that, I only buy my cars from the manufacturers. I buy Volkswagens from Volkswagens because if they're happy with the car happy enough to buy another Volkswagen, they have to be happy with this one. It just makes sense. Think about it for a second. Sure as shit, you seal the deal with that line. All right? So, again, guys, that's my top 3. Well, it was 4 if you count the first one twice, whatever, 5. Of how not to get screwed over at the dealer-only auctions. Keep in mind, guys, you're swimming with sharks here, okay? Like, if you're not built for this, you're just not built for this. There's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of risk in the car game. People are, for the most part, kind of like scumbaggy, and this is just what it is. I hate to break it down to you guys like that, but you know, follow those 3 tips. We're gonna say 3. Follow those 3 tips. Follow the first one the most, and you'll find yourself with a lot less headaches, a lot less profit margin, but a lot less headaches. And now that I brought that up, let me say this real quick. The higher the risk, the higher reward, okay? So if you are buying for independents that do sell those type of cars at their lot, chances are something's wrong with it. You're rolling the dice. It could be as easy as a bad, you know, it's been in an accident or 2, or it could be as bad as a bad engine. But you're going to buy it, and you're going to pay much less than you would the Nissan from Nissan, okay? But for taking that risk, if it pays off, the profit margin is way higher. The reward is way higher. You just have to figure out what's it worth to you. Is it worth the gamble, or do you want to be like some of my other friends and not gamble as much but always make money? So you got to find out where you're at with it and take it from there. As far as the salvage only auctions and these other YouTubers doing really well with those types of cars, watch the other video. That's the only thing I can say. I don't want to get into it right now. I want to make this video short and sweet. So guys, I'm out. Thank you so much. We just hit 400 subscribers here today. I'm fucking pumped. I know that's nothing in the world of YouTube, but to me, I love it. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you guys for everything you guys do. If there's ever anything I could do back for you, hit me in the email address and I'll do the best I can. If you're looking to be a rep for somebody, remember, try to keep it in your state. And the easiest way to do that is just to go on Craigslist or Facebook and type in the words auction access or Manheim or something like that. Just put it in the field and see what comes back. There are out-of-state deals. I'll make another video about that. I've made already 2, but there's a new one that's on my radar. You know who you are. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. I'll look into it. And that's it. All right, guys. Thank you so much. God bless. We out of here.
That's my best friend.